Welcome to this week's edition of When Can We Do This Again? Your tips, tricks, reviews, previews, all things good, maybe not so good about Walt Disney World. This is going to be the show that's going to help you plan your trips. It's going to give you some tips, some hacks, some things that are going to help your vacation go so much smoother, maybe help you spend a little less money and a little less time in line. If this is your first time here on the channel, my name is Michael Mass. Hit that subscribe button and let's get started. This week on When Can We Do This Again, we are going to visit a subject that I visited about a month ago, and I had specific questions about a certain park. About a month ago, or I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, I made a tip video on the top five FastPasses that you must get while you're at Walt Disney World, assuming that you're going to spend days in each park. Well, I had someone DM me, private message me, whatever you want to call it, and they asked me, hey, I'm not going to be going to all these other parks. I'm just going to be going to Magic Kingdom. What FastPasses should I get just for Magic Kingdom? They gave me the parameters that their kids were a certain height and things like that. So I decided to go ahead and make a video just outlining kind of the FastPass system just for Magic Kingdom this week. Let's talk about it. But before we get into the meat of this video, if you have rides that you think are a must FastPass at Magic Kingdom, hit me down below with those. Let everybody know what you think your must FastPass rides are, especially if you have kids that are under like 44 inches. They can't ride like Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, maybe even Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Let me know what your 3 FastPasses are when you head to the Magic Kingdom. Let's get to the meat of the subject. And since I've already did a video over Walt Disney World and 2 of those FastPasses were in Magic Kingdom, it's going to be kind of obvious what 2 of those are. So let's quickly hit those 2 and then move on to the ones that weren't in that video. The 2 that I mentioned in that video were first, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You're going to have to get this in the 60-day window, 60 to 30 days. It's really hard, even though like 2 days ago, I was able to get one for like tomorrow, I think, in my thing, but it's very limited. I was a solo trip over, so who knows? But if you're going to get Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, this is usually a 30 to 60 day out. It's harder to get if you're not staying on property. I will just let you know that. The second FastPass, which is readily more available when it comes to it, that I would recommend is the Peter Pan. Peter Pan's flight is constantly a long wait. It's like 75 minutes, 60 to 90, somewhere in that range almost all the time. Yes, it's an older ride, but the queue is amazing. Now you're saying, but if we take the FastPass, we don't get to see the queue. That is the downfall to taking the FastPass system when it comes to Peter Pan. Well, I just stuttered there. Peter Pan's flight, definitely FastPass that. But if you want to enjoy the queue, get there really early in the morning or go to that little ride like late at night and hop on it. Now, let's get to the whole new subject when it comes to this. Let's talk about the 3 rides that I would put on the back end of those 2 FastPasses. Those 2 are my must FastPasses. Let's talk about the 3 rides that I would put on the back end and some quick tips on that. First off, Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is especially in the summer, it's going to be warm, it's going to be hot, and you're going to want to cool off. Splash Mountain's the way to go. Love, love, love me some Splash Mountain. I do think it's my favorite ride, if not my second favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World, and it's definitely my favorite ride at the Magic Kingdom. Next up is going to be Big Thunder Mountain. I would recommend Big Thunder Mountain. I prefer Big Thunder over Space, which is going to be the next one I'm going to mention, but Big Thunder is always that 60 to 90 minute wait time. It's a coaster. Everybody's having fun. They want to go ride that coaster. As well, for nostalgia purposes and everything else that goes along with it, Space Mountain is another one of those wait times. It's always 60 to 90 minutes. So if you're going to want to ride any of the mountains, you're going to want to get a FastPass for the mountains. Now, let's just say you didn't get Mine Train and you didn't get Peter Pan's flight. You didn't get Peter Pan's flight. FastPass in all the mountains is the way to go. Just go ahead and FastPass all of those. Why not? Now, let's go ahead and talk about what to FastPass if your kids aren't tall enough to ride these rides. You have youngsters who want to do some other things and want to enjoy the parks, but they can't get on the roller coasters. What FastPasses, what 3 FastPasses other than the obvious, other than Seven Dwarfs and Peter Pan would I recommend? Well, believe it or not, especially if you have a little girl, you're going to want to FastPass Enchanted Tales with Belle. Enchanted Tales with Belle always runs out of FastPasses. Like, it's hard for me to find FastPasses for Enchanted Tales with Belle on a regular basis. I don't attend it that often, but they're almost never there. They're always disappearing, and if you get it, it's kind of a rarity. So I would definitely recommend Enchanted Tales with Belle. Now, this is not a ride. It's a little bit of a show. You go in, you hear the story of Belle and Beast. La da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that right there, before I embarrass myself with dancing and singing in this video. But yes, you're going to want to FastPass Enchanted Tales with Belle. Next up, out of these FastPasses that I would recommend for the height restriction, this is going to be the Jungle Cruise. Now here's the problem. Most kids won't get the Jungle Cruise, but I will tell you this, everybody can ride it, and I would never stand in line for the Jungle Cruise. Here's why. Jungle Cruise is hit or miss. Hit or miss if you're going to get a good skipper or a bad skipper or not. And the lines are always 60 minutes or longer because it's not a high... They don't put a lot of people on these boats, and they don't get a lot of people through, so that's not processing a lot of people through the Jungle Cruise on a regular basis. So I would definitely FastPass Jungle Cruise if I was going to ride it ever, because I do not want to wait in line for a bad skipper. Now, last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and say, since I mentioned something for the girls when it comes to Belle and Beast and Enchanted Tales with Belle, though I'm not a big fan of this ride, Tomorrowland Speedway's wait times, especially in busy season, can get 60 minutes plus. And you know what? The little ones love to drive a car, so why not let them drive a car at Tomorrowland Speedway? This is a great way to have a little fun with your little one. Let them drive a car for the first time. It is fun. It's intoxicating with the fumes, though. I'll let you know that. And the cars aren't always the easiest to drive. I remember a time when I went with my nephew, and it was funny because I went on the ride with him, and I kind of figured it out pretty fast on how to enjoy the ride the best. And then, like, later in the week, we were back in Magic Kingdom, and my sister went on with the ride, and she said, I hated it. This ride was awful. Like, you can't maneuver the cars. It was just frustrating. So I will let you know there's like two sides of that. It's kind of how you work it and how it goes. But you definitely can have some fun with that. So there are some extra FastPasses for those who are under the 44%. There's rides in there that you don't ever really have to FastPass. You're not going to have to FastPass a lot of those smaller kid rides on a regular basis. Maybe like Barnstormer, if your kid wants to do a coaster, you could do that one as a FastPass. But I definitely wouldn't FastPass like Dumbo or the Teacups or things like that, unless I just like have went through my FastPasses and there's not many options left for the day. Guys, I hope this helps you out when you plan your next trip to the Magic Kingdom, because the Magic Kingdom literally is the most magical place on earth. I love it there, and I hope that everybody else loves it there. And these FastPass tips will help that trip go a little bit smoother, especially if this is your first trip over to Magic Kingdom. Take advantage of those FastPasses and enjoy. That is going to be it for this week's edition of When Can We Do This Again? If you have any tips or tricks, like I said, down below, guys, help everybody out in the community. Help everybody have a magical day while at Magic Kingdom. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hit that like button if you like this video. Big thumbs up if you love it. I will talk to you next week. And until then, I hope to see you again so we can do this again.